So I've been teasing for the last hour this band that's coming in at 7:35 tonight. They're probably in the parking lot right now in their huge stretch limo. That's how they travel. But it's a great industrial band, synth band from the Boston area, but a huge sound. So big that I'm hoping that from here, this show, that they go national or international.
I think the fans of Ministry are going to dig this band.
I think they will, and they definitely will. If you like Ministry, and if you like this next band in the background, Front 242, you're going to like the band that's coming in at 7:35. That's all we're going to say. It's a big sort of tease to say, who is this band coming up here to the station? Literally, they're going to rock the foundation of this radio station, 95.9 WATD. 7:35. We've been talking about it for the last hour or so, and the Mystery Band is here in the studio, and this is their music. If you like this song, stay tuned. We will unveil the name of the Mystery Band in about 5 minutes. 95.9 ATD.
Street, now I saw the dude dance with the broom. Half-stepping his skills, gonna get you killed. He's got double the mechanical moves. Brothers dropped hard, brothers dropped foot. You knew it was time to throw down. Working on your mind and your focus will get you out of a town. Trench in a hat look like a 40s cat, the kind of guy who could swing. Fast with his hands, fast with the girls. My brothers were the real thing. I knew two brothers that could dance, and that kind of shit sinks right in. In the end, all that matters is how you move, not whether or not you win. Masters. 10 years old, I was spending my time dropping foot in my room to the dance of my mind. I knew two brothers that could dance. It started something real. A gem in the sand is where we are. It's something that we can feel. Because the things that are moving you, I turn it off, playing it too. You only have a handful of solid nights where you get a good look at the moon. The crest of a wave in the dark is a vision of a steady current flow. It grabs and holds, it shakes, it shows. It's a thing that makes you whole. This is respected rhythm. It comes only in time. Two people can change the world. Who are you to draw your line? I knew two brothers that could dance. They turn them all on their ear. The first fed symptom of a closed up mind is an element called fear.
Life!
95.9 WATD. The mystery band will be unveiled right now. They are known as Blue-Eyed Fools from the Boston sort of South Shore area. Live in studio, we have Tristan Rudat and Patrick Ryan from the Blue-Eyed Fools. Welcome to 95.9 WATD.
Thanks for having us on, Chris. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah, we've got the patchouli incense going up here, like the smoke machine. It's just like it's basically being back at Club Babyhead or Man Ray all over again.
Yeah, totally. We got that vibe going in there tonight here in Marshfield. Yeah.
Never, ever again, probably in WATD's history will that happen.
No,
right?
right? Clove cigarettes and people listening to Peter Murphy. And,
We're listening to Peter Murphy, but we don't have any of that other stuff. It's all theater of the mind, whatever. So, hey, I'm really psyched. I mean, I know you guys have been listening to the show for several years, and I really do, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate that. That's really huge. But even more importantly than you guys listening, thank you for this music. I mean, it's really great. This speaks to my youth, and I know you're influenced by ministry and my life with the Thrill Kill Cult and a whole lot of bands. We'll get into that. But tell us a little bit about who you guys are. Who's Blue-Eyed Fools?
Well, it's Patrick and myself.
Don't be afraid of the mic.
Sorry, it's Patrick and myself. We've been playing music together for about 20 years. So we were in another band called 151. It started here in Massachusetts, and that was in the 90s. And as that band progressed, Patrick and I became more and more interested in sort of the electronic aesthetic that was happening sort of in the early thousands. We became a lot more into that, kind of almost as a reaction to being into ministry and being in the Nine Inch Nails. And then as the late 90s it became heavier and heavier, in a race to become heavier and heavier, we kind of started to back off from that and began to engage more of our electronic history, bands like Front 242
Awesome.
and
Underworld,
a band that we were really influenced at the time.
Hula?
And,
Do you guys like Hula?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And sort of that kind of indie rock thing that started happening again, where kind of harkening back to that is some of the post-punk vibe as well, and the cleaner guitar tones, and bringing out some of the melodies.
Great music. I mean, it's just I'm just, like I say, transported back to that wonderful time, pre-1000s, sort of late 80s, 90s, and just that club scene. Are you guys playing around anywhere?
Yeah, well, what we do is we also are a visual arts collective called Alien TV. So a lot of times we do visuals in clubs, and then we also, play as Blue-Eyed Fools when we're doing that. And Tristan makes some pretty unbelievable electronic music that we do visuals to as well. So it's kind of like a mixture of some instrumental rock and then back into us actually singing, and so. That kind of thing. That last song you just played, I just want to mention that that is a tribute to 1984. And if you listen to the words, that song's about Ozone and Turbo, the two main characters from the film Breakin'.
Okay.
And when I was a kid, everybody out there remembers having a piece of cardboard underneath your couch and pulling it out and breakdancing. And that song is like a tribute. And at the very beginning of that song, you might have heard an old lady's voice saying, "Where'd you go last night? Were you the MC?" That was my Nana.
I was going to say, it had to have been a relative, no doubt.
That was Nana. She said that to me one time and on a videotape, and I went, "Oh my God, that's the greatest sample of all time."
Breakdancing. I think we'll get Darkman to do some of that a little bit later in the parking lot, whatever. Yeah, go get some cardboard, Darkman.
Throw down the cardboard.
Yeah.
So great stuff. So tell us a little bit more. You've got some great pedigree on this CD. I know took a while to get this CD put together, but you have Martin Atkins, Public Image Limited, Ministry, Killing Joke, Nine Inch Nails. I mean, how did you land this guy?
Well, Patrick and I had been involved with his first band, Pigface, kind of on a street teaming level as early as the mid-'90s, and working with other bands on Invisible Records, and sort of stayed in touch over the years. And when we came back to Boston, I think in 2001, we were helping out Pigface with some video stuff, filming them. And
we filmed their last show at the Limelight before the Limelight closed in New York.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool, and we shot it all on 16mm film for them. So
I remember seeing Nine Inch Nails first time ever when they were on tour. It would have been back in, I think, 1989, December of '89 at Axis. And Trent Reznor was toward the end just wrapped in like audio tape. It was out of control. And and I think the microphone kept hitting him in the head and he was like bleeding. I mean, this is
consummate performer.
Yeah, without a doubt.
modern day James Brown, really. I mean, just
Yeah.
a great mix of theater and
yeah, so Martin played with Ministry,
amazing,
and he
yeah.
had his own band, Pigfaced, and so when Tristan was out working with him in Chicago, he said, hey, will you play on this song? And he was like, yeah, and, put on Ozone Turbo, put on Two Brothers, and he just, went into it.
Yeah, it was like right before leaving for the airport, I think. It was one of those, we barely had enough time, and it was like the intern was the engineer, and
Wow.
it was like, throw up a couple mics and just go. One take and just go.
So there's like 6 degrees of separation in everything in life. So now we've got, I guess this would be 2 degrees for me away from Ministry, and I'm just going to throw it out there as we talked about it off air. There's like a 1 degree of separation now. I know there's a person listening, Mark from the band Adventure Set, previously in Ministry, and I'm hoping that he's really enjoying your music, and maybe he'll even do a review of you guys. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I really like Adventure Set too, so it's like,
It's full circle,
It's
and
full,
the Boston connection.
yeah,
and
creating
Massachusetts
a
connection.
community of awesome musicians who, can bring back maybe the thing that we're all talking about that happened in the late 80s and the early 90s when we were just all going to shows. And it didn't matter what band it was. We'd all just stand right up front and go, all right, let's go. What do you got?
Yeah, you knew it'd be great.
You knew it would be awesome.
And I think that vibe is coming back. I know the big thing right now, and there's another DJ that's probably listening who's going to give me a hard time, but the whole Americana thing, I appreciate it, no doubt about that. But this type of music, this show, whether it's alternative or the industrial or the synth stuff, we've had bands in the last few weeks, and it's all been electronic music. And I really do think that there's a resurgence of that, sort of hearkening back to that sound of the 80s and the 90s. Would you agree with that or completely
Absolutely.
disagree?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think you're seeing a lot of, when you, those types of guitars that you free up the space, and people are realizing that there's a place for actual synthesizers, and it's not just about man versus machine, but actual human beings playing keyboards and adding really interesting parts. And
yeah, it's funny because this argument about like synthesizers and whether they they belong in music and stuff like that was like something that happened in the 60s when Floyd first came out. You know what I mean? And even if you watch Pompeii, there's parts where they talk about it. Well, we're just using the tools to make the thing. And so
50 years
so
ago,
now
the
here,
same.
Yeah, here we all are with like unbelievable 21st century and 20th century tools that we can create a musical bed with electronics, and then put the tribal drums and stuff on, into it, and really bring out the organicness of it.
I think there's a bit of a misconception that like when you get too wrapped up in the electronics, that it becomes sort of the sterile, removing the human element, and I suppose that's possible on some level, but I think more often than not you end up exploring a different kind of humanity, and the sterile environment of the drum machines and the synthesizers gives you an opportunity to actually explore something maybe more tender, or something that's a little more interesting rhythm, once you take those grid modes off and let it go.
And so we'll play another song, and is this song tender, or is it just sort of like in your face industrial?
Which one?
Which track is that?
It's Time Lapse Horizon.
Time Lapse Horizon. I think.
Yeah, that actually probably shows where the music of Blue Eyed Fools is going. Because this is really more of like him and I singing together and singing about.
Turning it around.
Yeah, turning it around, turning everything around.
And a negative feeling you can turn it into.
Making the world better,
Time Lapse, wasn't that a movie?
No,
It
that's
sounds
actually
like
something Tristan came up with one day when he was looking out the window.
Yeah, and it also has Charles Levi.
Yeah, and Charles.
Awesome.
Charles is playing bass. Charles from Thrill Kill Call.
Okay, so let's give a listen to Blue Eyed Fools. Song is called Time Lapse Horizon, 95.9 WATD.
Things are getting out of hand.
95.9 WATD, Blue-Eyed Fools, Time-Lapse Horizon here on The Alternative with me, Chris Atwood. Welcome back, Tristan and Patrick, to the show. You didn't go that far.
No, we were sitting right here.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for all the women out there that are listening to the show, this is the question that they're, if they were to call in, they would ask, how'd you get the name Blue-Eyed Fools? And I can see what's going on because I'm like live. I can see you guys 3 feet away, but
Yeah. Well, you can clearly see that we both have blue eyes, but sometimes people get confused about, like, so what are you, fools? Like, what are you guys, live, and then you die? Remember the fools?
Right.
Yeah. No. Well, we harken it back to the times of, like, the Renaissance, when the fools were the guys who would come in and they would, perform for you, and they'd make commentaries of the social times of the day, and the comedians were the fools.
very King Henry, Tudors.
Yeah, there you go.
Tudors,
Yeah. So that's us, a couple of blue-eyed fools walking through the world.
So like we've been doing this a long time, even before we were doing this.
Yeah, it feels as though we've been doing it before we were doing it. Yeah.
Patrick's eyes are more true blue than mine. Mine get kind of grayish.
Yours change color.
So we got someone by the name of Charles Levy, My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult.
Yep.
He was on that song Time Lapse Horizon off of your new album, The Real Ones. Tell us a little bit about how you landed Charles.
Oh, that's a fun story. I mean, it started back in the days of MySpace, back in the MySpace days, and people would say, "Hey, I'm looking for someone to help, master my record." I think he was looking for someone to help master his record, and so I was like, "Hey, I'll help you master a record," and he ended up coming, to my house in New England, stayed at the studio, and
and he threw down that awesome bass line, and he also threw down another song called "The Dark," which is another song that we haven't ever released yet.
Yeah, it's kind of
which is
unreleased.
where he's actually like talking, and he's like,
his
Patrick,
vamping.
Man, I'm gonna go get myself. It's martini time. It's martini time. It's all this stuff. It's funny. So
doing this whole like kind of 70s vamp, and
he's a great guy. So
great
we had a
stuff,
great time with him.
another one of
and
those
a
one
sick bass
takes
player.
just threw it down.
Yeah, in fact, when me and Tristan first met each other, we were really into this band, System Machine Gun, and he played bass on the System Machine Gun record that we were really into. Like we used to drive around listening to in the car.
So tell us a little bit. You guys got 2000 roughly. You got the band together. You've been East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, back and forth.
Yeah, Austin, Texas was where we were in our first band, our industrial band, 151, and so we still have strong ties to Austin, and it's
Kind of
just
started there, but really kind of picked up momentum when we got back to
moved home.
Boston. And
we started out. We opened up our own little studio, and me and him started really recording the songs together. Some of them we started in his room, then they ended up in the studio with us doing it.
Cool.
Yep.
Now, how can people find out about your band?
Well, the common ways of social media, right?
Yeah, you can find us on. Now we're on Facebook. We've graduated. We still do have a a MySpace page. There's a bit of stuff on it. But
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
There's a whole bunch.
There's
There's
a YouTube,
tons of live material.
Facebook
of ours. If you ever type into iTunes,
on iTunes,
it's just like a whole bunch
7
of
albums,
live shows that we played throughout the thousands.
Invisible Records, mega catalog.
Now, do you guys? So you obviously you play at clubs. And since you do the whole lighting stuff as your own business, do you put together sort of a light show for your shows?
Yeah, it's actually video. I work with lighting companies in Rhode Island, and I work with a video company specifically in Rhode Island, and then I do freelance stuff, and then as Alien TV. So we do different types of things. The Alien TV thing is
and
more
we would be
our
remiss
own thing.
if we didn't give out the shout out to New England Institute of Technology, which is where me and him met each other. He came up to me. He's like, "Dude, someday we're going to be in a band, and we're going to control video on keyboards, and there's going to be desktop terabyte drives." And I'm like, "Dude, hold on a minute. What are you talking about? Like, it's 1993.
Well, here you are. All these,
here we are. Now he had these visions of the future, and so we're able to incorporate these futuristic things into our music.
Now we make music out of video, and
making music out of.
Tomorrow night I'm working with a group at Babson College.
Oh, cool.
Going to be doing so do that as sort of more of like a work for hire type thing.
Right.
So it's allowed me to work with some really cool artists in the past. But it always kind of comes back to the stuff that Patrick and I have been doing, tried and true for over 20 years now.
20 years,
Well, hold that thought. for 13 seconds. We're going to do something a little bit out of the difference here. We do have to do the legal FCC ID or else they'll take away my license. But just like 13 seconds. Let's hold on. 1, 2. There we go.
The South Shore's breaking news, weather, and traffic station.
95.9 WATD FM Marshfield and 95.9 WATD.com.
And we're back. 95.9 WATD. Didn't go too far away here with Blue Eyed Fools, Tristan and Patrick. So, 20 years. I mean, this music is just, I don't know. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. This is just too much fun for me. Whatever. Dark Man's going to have to take over. I don't know what to do. I'm perplexed. So great stuff. So we hope to see you guys out on the road soon. I mean, seriously. And if there's folks that are listening in Plymouth, you know who you are. You have to do a show at that place in Plymouth. And because I think we could get some great bands here and, play. But also
we'd love to.
Down in Providence. Love to see you guys play down at dusk. And, I don't even know if there's really sort of like that industrial goth club in Boston anymore.
No, they have nights that try and harken back to that. You know, like I know that the Paradise sometimes has like a Man Ray theme, right?
Yeah.
But,
And we're involved with some of those nights kind of on different levels.
Different things.
But the live music, I mean, all I can say this about the Blue Eyed Fools is find us on Facebook, send us a Facebook message.
Yeah,
or
and if you see me out there, I'm probably just going to hand you a disc and go, hey, check this out. I just want you to hear it.
We're on the WATD Facebook page. We're all linked up. So find us out there if you want to set up a show. We're really approachable. We're really flexible. Play pretty much anywhere that there's an audience and a cool venue. And
it'd be great to see you guys play up at on Saturday nights. I think DJ Chris Ewan.
Sure, yeah, we know Chris pretty well.
Yeah, who used to be in the bands. I'm sure you've heard it back in the '80s. Figures on a Beach.
Yeah, you've played them a couple times.
We have. I got to get him on the show.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have him. Yeah.
And
maybe he can be the next link. You know how you're sort of the guests are sort of linked, like you said.
They are.
Maybe we can.
Well, and that's I think the beauty of this area. There's so many. Where Boston's a pretty small town. Let's be honest. It's not LA. It's not New York. Don't even think it is. But because it's sort of smaller, there's a lot of connections and all these bands. I mean, we mentioned people off air. You knew this person. You knew that person. It's that's just the great thing about the scene. And also down here on the South Shore, there's a lot of great music that's happening. Although I want to see a lot more industrial goth stuff down here. And if anyone's got a few $1 million and you want to open up a nightclub, just give me a call, 781-837-4900. We know the guys that can do the light show for it.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. We can do some serious video madness, is what we call it.
So you brought in a couple of CDs, and we'd like to give some away. This track that I picked up to sort of take us on out, Surivalive. Tell us a little bit about that song, how you came up with the title.
That's probably our most recent. I think that's the most recent track on that CD.
Record, and we sing that one actually together. Like I sing a piece, he sings a piece. Sometimes when I give the disc to somebody, I'm like, we're like the Electro Hall and Ups. So this one's, I guess, the most Seals and Croftsy version.
So you're gonna have live at Patrick's house pretty soon, just like bringing all these industrial goth bands.
Totally. We do want to hit that. Daryl Hall's got that club. That's, right over the line in New York. I hear it's pretty cool.
Oh, cool. Just blast out on the Mass Pike and check it out.
Yeah, well, thanks for picking Surivalive. Yeah, no, it's about basically the times that we live in and how it's kind of like everything turns on a dime. I mean, during these storms, if you were at the grocery store, it was up to everybody to not freak out, and it's really up to everybody to keep a cool head so that when times get tough, we stick
able
together
to survive
and
we get through it together
and do it together.
Awesome. So Surivalive here on 95.9 WATD. And, we got a couple of CDs. So if you want a free CD by the band The Blue Eyed Fools, song's called The Real Ones, or album's called The Real Ones, Surivalive. You know the drill. Just give us a call, 781-837-4900. Got a few copies. Happy to give them away. Guys, thanks for coming on into the studio tonight.
Thank you, Chris. The alternative rules.
95.9 ATD.
All eyes are full alert. One chance, one window in time to free our minds. All the skills you need to survive. Trust your instincts to keep you alive. 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 not too late, it's not the end. It's time to rise, you survive. Your wits about you, instinct in line. Hide no witness, frozen in time. You have a problem, it's line of sight. Take drastic measures in uncertain times. Trails is fading, no one's immune. The storm is coming, it's coming soon. You're strong in mind, you're strong inside. We work together, come out alright. Stay alive, you choose to stay alive. You choose to stay alive. You choose to stay alive. Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive. We stand in front of the throne. We represent the spirit of the earth. It's not easy. It's not too late. Why not try? Turn off the rain. It's not easy. It's not too late. Why not try? It's not too late to free our minds. Don't go silent, never resign. The war is on for our minds.
You're listening to The Alternative with Chris Atwood on 95.9 WATD.